Ladies and gentlemen, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? This has to be the fastest year on record. Here we are already, December 3rd, 2024. Zoe Williams is back in the building. You already know what it is. And the countdown to a new year, new opportunities. We'll see how that goes. How's everybody doing? How was everybody's Thanksgiving weekend? We got a lot to cover, short time to cover it in. Man, it's so much going on right now. In about 60 days or less than 60 days, probably around 40 days, we're going to have a new commander-in-chief with regards to leading the free world. And anything you ever wanted to know about white men and power, you're about to see what it really is. See, and I'm trying to point this out to you so you can understand. We're living in a time where what used to be covert is now becoming overt, right? When they say he doesn't look presidential, what they're saying is most presidents, because remember, our voting democracy is an extension of the European aristocracy. They get their leaders through the line of succession. We get our leaders through elections, right? But the fact that the majority of the presidents are all related, I mean, when they started pointing out that Obama's cousins was Dick Cheney and George Bush and Clinton was, all of the presidents are related, and all of the presidents are related to the royal aristocracy. They point all of this out, right? I'm bringing this up to you to let you know whatever ideology you bought into, they're selling it to you as an illusion of inclusion in the process. And everything that every black leader has been saying for the past 100 years, all the way back to W.E.B. Du Bois, who went against his brother, Marcus Garvey, all the way, the noble Drew Ali, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and there's so many more. All of our folk been teaching one thing. Together, we good. Together, we can make a difference. Right? So, I'm bringing up all of this stuff because we got topics to cover because there's a lot going on. Like I said, the world is in upheaval. Look, them cousins. That's cousins. George W., George H., Bill Clinton, Jimmy Carter. And there was some little white girl that just came along and said, I'm going to do the genealogy of the presidents. And next thing you know, they're all related. Right? It's going to be amazing. So you already know, I like to promote black-owned businesses. I'm really excited because a lot of black-owned businesses throughout what's been going on, the economy, inflation, gas prices. Look, how 20 U.S. presidents are related. And remember, the aristocracy goes through the line of succession. The only way you can get to the throne in the European aristocracy is by blood, being a blood relative. That's the line of succession. But what you see is we pick presidents based on that too. Lloyd Hinton already in here. Thank you. Hey, if you guys want to follow Lloyd Hinton's lead, please support this channel by going to the super chat. The super chat is the $ down at the bottom of the chat. If you want to support that way, please do so. Also, moderators, could you put my Cash App in the chat? You can send your donations directly to me. My Cash App is $ZoWhat Netter. That's $ZoWhat Netter, Netter. And Nzinga, yes, this engineer is on it. That's because this man owns the whole building. Michael from OneStream, Mikhail from OneStream is here running the board. Say what's up, Mike.
In the house.
Yeah.
Happy holidays and unity. That's what we need.
Yeah, see, Mike is on it. And Zinga said, yo, he on board. He is on board. Everybody hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the share button. Like it and share. Let's get in the algorithm. We need all the likes we could get. We need all the support we could get. Like. Now, Total Package Energy. You guys already know that's a black-owned business that I've been promoting for the longest. We want you guys to continue to support Total Package Energy. The brother sent me a love offering yesterday because he said we did some sales, and I'm that only comes from you guys. So I'm grateful, I'm thankful, I'm appreciative. Please continue to support this black-owned business, Total Package Energy. They have protein shakes. They have protein for protein shakes. As you can see, it's unflavored, no sugar added, gluten-free, soy-free, it's vegan, support. And then they have their legendary energy shot. Go there right now, totalpackageenergy.com. Tell them Zoe Williams sent you. Also, in the last 2 weeks, I've sent out about 25 bottles, or not 25, about 18 bottles of He Is Risen. Now, y'all can listen to Uncle Shay. Y'all can listen to all these people getting paid off to promote chemicals, allegedly. It might work, allegedly. But what I know is Dr. Russell Harrison and his nephew, Alan, have crafted something that is 100% organic, 100% herbal, not a toxin or a chemical in sight. Can the others say that? Not a toxin or a chemical in sight. Can the others say that? Listen, we have an extremely limited amount of these, and I'm going to tell you why. Dr. Russell and his nephew, they are busy. They are busy dealing with pro boxers now, getting their nutrition up, right? Getting them ready for their fights, detoxing them. So when the supply goes low, oftentimes we're left, I have to take the product off of the website because people will continue to order it. I got to take it off the website because people will order and we won't have it. They're about to go out of, they're about to go out of town in about a month. And I'm trying to get re-upped on the He Is Risen, RZN. Russell, Zoe, and nephew. Listen, if you want this product, when I tell you it's the real deal Holyfield, when it comes to that wood, when it comes to that, when it comes to that rapid fire left hand jab, bop, 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 bop. I'm telling you, you want that. You want that. He is risen. Crazy product. It is berserk. Like I said, I be in the damn lounge. People be looking at me like I'm Nino Brown, like I got that new blue magic. Listen, it's crazy. Go to my website, MrZoWhat.com. Order it now. Order it now. When you order now, like this package was ordered over the weekend. So this package goes out tomorrow. So if you want your package to go out tomorrow expeditiously, you already got to know this is Christmas time. This is the holiday season. So there's going to be somewhat of a delay. But if you order now, I can ship it as early as tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. So if you want it, order it now. MrZoWhat.com. Go there right now. Moderators, please put it in the chat. Now, on to Russell Herbals. You see that antiviral? You know you guys can buy these bottles of herbs individually from Dr. Russell. You see that Echinacea Plus? You see that anti-plague? Listen, when the COVID was going around, people was getting sick. Man, I got those in my crib right now. Those 3 bottles right now. I got those in my crib right now. Go to Russell Herbals, get your detox. Or you can buy things individually, like Echinacea Plus, antiviral, anti-plague. You could go get, what is it? He's got some, what is it called? I'm looking for that one thing that he's got. I done forgot the name of it, but I'm telling you, Russell Herbals, Dr. Russell is on the level of Dr. Sebi. They have different modalities and different methodologies, but you can't tell me that Dr. Russell ain't on the same level. I met both of these men. I've tried both of their products. And I'm just going to tell you right now, I have respect for both, and we should revere Dr. Russell Harrison in much the same way as we look up to our great ancestor, Dr. Sebi. These are both represented by the Orisha Osayan, right? The master of herbs. Mullen, he's got a lung product. He's got a full, internal detox where you're detoxing your kidneys, your spleen, your gallbladder, your liver. You're detoxing all of these things. You're detoxing every aspect of your internal organs, all getting a thorough detox. He's got a whole program for that. And I'm telling you, that's what it was called, Bowel Pocket. You could buy that Bowel Pocket separately. I would suggest getting it in one of his detox packages and following, Super Bowel Pocket. He got that Super Bowel Pocket and then the Super Bowel Pocket is just one part of the program though. That's the part where it has the charcoal, it has, what are those seeds? I forgot, some kind of seeds in there. It's a mixture of several kind of herbs with charcoal, and what happens is, flaxseed, yeah, they're in there. And what happens is this unique formula that he has, when you take it on your detox, it just clings to every aspect of your large intestines. It just absorbs everything in the large intestines, even the stuff that's been in there caked on. And if you're following the procedure of the detox, when you get to the final step, this is a daily process. When you get to the final step and you take, what's the name of it? I forgot the name of it. You take the final step, which is some kind of laxative. I think it's Super Bowel Pocket. No, that's the That's the charcoal. But the final step is like a very powerful herbal laxative that has all of these ingredients in it. You take that at night. When you get up in the morning, you're going to have immediate drop off of luggage. Internal luggage is going to get dropped off. Go to Russell Herbals. Tell them Zoe Williams sent you. All right? Go to Russell Herbals. Tell them Zoe Williams sent you. The number to dial is 323-474-5099. That's 323-474-5099. Latarius Brown, can I do a detox and then go to work? Yes, you can. Because how he has it set up is if you follow the instructions to the letter, he gives you a whole pamphlet, a whole booklet, the whole 9 yards. That early morning movement is going to flush you out. There it is, super colon cleanse. Them two together at the end, after you done drank all of the elixirs with all of the various tinctures and listen, when you get to this stage, and you're doing this every day, it's like 7-8 stages every day for 30 days. You get to this stage, super bowel pocket powder. Then you get that super colon cleanse. Now, how I do it, because I be out working, busy, I wait till I get home to take the super colon cleanse. I done went the whole day. And while you're on this detox, what you're eating, he gave me a break. He was like, you got to eat raw food. I said, raw? My God, come on, brother. He said, no. For you, you could add some salmon. So for 30 days, I ate simply salad with some salmon on top. And boy, I get home at night, then I take the super colon cleanse. When I get home at night, I take that super colon cleanse. I go to bed. When I get up in the morning, bop, 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 I drop off some luggage. I drop off about 2-3 pounds of what has been caked internally. You get flushed all the way out. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you take He is Risen fresh off of a deep, God, telling you, going to put the Billy Club. It's going to be dangerous. It's going to be bro-lease brutality. I'm telling you, it's crazy. But if you can't afford the detox, if you can only afford bits and pieces, fine. Get He is Risen. Go to my website, MrZoWhat.com. Get He is Risen. You guys might as well buy me out. We got about maybe, I can see, we got a few bottles left. Just buy me out. Go ahead and get the rest of these and get them off the shelf. They work amazing, whether you've detoxed or not. But I encourage you to go to russellherbals.com and get that detox. We've already talked about Total Package Energy. Listen, it's time for me to get on to today's stories. Let's get busy. Well, let's just start with the elephant in the room, Drake. So the reason why this is important, because a lot of things are happening. You hear me talk about, as I set up the show earlier, you hear me talk about how things are moving quickly. We got a president coming in that's going to be radical, that's going to change everything. Some people are talking about, what's the 2025? What's that program they got? Project 2025. A lot of people say uber conservative. They're rolling back the woke culture. Now, just understand, you got pimped by words and ideas and concepts. So just like I was talking to a sister the other day, she was like, I can never use the word nigga. I can't use it. I can't use it. And then when you hit them with the inverse of what they stand on, I put this flag in the ground and this is what I stand on. I can never use the word ignorant or nigga. And I say, well, that means the white man's definition or redefining of that word takes precedent over your original definition of that word, your ancestral definition of that word. She was like, well, I never looked at it that way. And I said, I know, because words are your pimp. Ideas are your pimp. And if you're not careful of the words that you have curated, you look up the word. If your ancestral definition is a better, more uplifting definition than what your oppressor's definition of a particular word is, why use his? Why hold on to the trauma that's associated with his definition of the word? Again, they're going to define shit that will marginalize, minimize, make you invisible, make you unseen, make you unheard. They will devalue you in their definition of you. So why accept their definition? Right? We were talking about the word nigga. I said, do you know what it means? Yes, I understand the word and how it predates and how it goes back, but I just ain't gonna use it. So you're gonna give up the word that meant God, kings, sovereign, ruler, God and king together, right? You're gonna give up all of that to hold on to your resentment towards Whitey and his redefining of your language. To me, that's the coldest level of pimping. That's the coldest level of psychological gaslighting and manipulation. So nigga comes from Neger, N-G-R, in the Kemet hieroglyphs. Neger, Neger. Neger gives us netur. Netur gives us God, gods, neturu. Neger, right? Before there was a Hebrew, there was a hieroglyphic. Now, some Hebrew Israelites might get mad and say, no, that ain't true. Go in your book. In Genesis, when we're talking about the languages, right? Aram and Ashur. Back then, they'll name a language after a person. Aram is where we get Aramic. Aramic is the ancient version of Hebrew. From Aramic, from Aram, you will get Aramaic, which gives us the modern day Hebrew. Now, modern day Hebrew is considered rabbinical Hebrew. Rabbinical Hebrew is Europeanized because it has the vowel system and it has the inclusion of European words. You understand? Aram gave us Aramic. Aramic is ancient Hebrew, which is now a dead, defunct language. Nobody is speaking Aramaic or Aramic anymore. Then you get Ashur. Ashur was a person, right? From Ashur, you get Ashuric. Ashuric gives birth to Saraic. Saraic gives birth to Arabic. Now, these is brothers. So that means these are dialects of the same great language. Do you understand? If you don't know, that's why I say stop listening to what Whitey has ordained. Now, this ain't no racism, right? The coldest race card that can be played is to erase self-knowledge. And black people have never erased other cultures' self-knowledge or knowledge of self. To me, the most devastating form of racism is psychological. When you engage in what is known as self-erasure. Go sit down with a psychologist and they'll tell you self-erasure is dangerous. It can happen at a child level. You trying to erase the me of it all. Do you understand? Self-erasure. They did that when they knocked the noses off the pyramids. They did that when they tried to obfuscate the truth that was hidden in all of the ancient scripts. We knew nigga, nagas, Niger. We knew what it meant, but they said, no, we gonna make it mean nigga land. It was Europeans who originally named that land Nigeria. Land of the nigger. Nigger land. Oh, I can't use that word nigger no more. I refuse to use the word nigger no more because the white man done took the word. The white man can't take nothing from you that you don't give up. That's your word. And when you see the NG sound, whether it's in Australia in a last name, whether it's in South Africa in a last name, you understand what I'm saying? Whether it's on the continent in a last name, whether it's in Far East Asia in a last name, the Nagas, Nagaina. The Serpent Kings, yes. That's the Uraeus on the top of all the pharaoh's crowns, the uraeus. You had the serpent there. The serpent only became evil in the white man's retelling of your message. We understood serpentine kundalini energy. We understood in our lowest vibration, the serpent is sleep. But like with Buddha, when the serpent arose and awoke, it moved up the spinal cord, what the Masons call Jacob's ladder, 32 degrees, into the crown chakra and opened its hood to protect Buddha from the sun shining on his back. Do you understand? See, all of this stuff is encoded. We are the origin of philosophy, of spirituality, of religiosity, of a God concept. When you see that Uraeus with the open hood, that's all us. We knew what the Nagas meant. Then the Ethiopians said, Negus, Nagast. Look up Negus. If it means God King, and the Pope still gets to call himself the vicar of God. I'm going to say, Pope, where did you get the concept that a man could be the vicar of God? It wasn't born in Rome. It wasn't born in Greece. It wasn't born in Athens. You were waiting to get into these schools for over 40 years. Socrates, Plato, right? Aristotle, everybody waiting to get into the mystery schools. So when you empower their definition of you over your own, it shows your spiritual immaturity. I want to fight a fight that's unnecessary to fight. Fight a fight that matters. I'm going to stop saying the word nigga. And I asked her, I said, so the connotation for you is more powerful than the denotation. Well, I'm just saying, and and then it falls into that. This is how I was raised, and and I'm gonna stand on mine. I believe what I believe, and I said what I said. It falls into that kind of conversation. Negus. Does Amharic sound like Aramaic or Ashuric? Do those languages sound? I'm just asking. Do those languages Amharic? Ashuric, Aramaic. Amharic is Ethiopian, right? Ethiopian. The word itself is Greek, from the word Ethiops, right? The black one. How the fuck is Zeus called the black one? Oh, a lot of people don't know that Zeus, his sacred name was Ethiops, the black one. The word Ethiopia means black skin. Are you telling me Zeus was black, Zo? I'm telling you the Greeks stole everything from the crib. I'm telling you the first Greeks were black. If there's a vestige of any kind of philosophical, psychological, spiritual, metaphysical knowledge on the European continent, it first was brought there by us. Does that make sense? The sister upset me because she was holding on to the resentment of what the white man has done in his undoing of the fabric of our knowledge of self, who we were. Listen, we are everybody that's significant to the spiritual maturation of planet Earth. We are literally everybody. You don't get the Nagas in the Far East, in Thailand. Go look at them pyramids. You don't get them. They're literally called the Serpent Kings. Put up that mask of King Tut. The mask of King Tut, when he's wearing the uraeus, listen, you got sold a bill of goods that wasn't true. History is the manifestation of gaslighting. If I control the story, i.e. your narrative, I control your knowledge of self. There it is, the uraeus, alongside with the vulture. The uraeus, the serpent, with the hood open. It represents enlightenment. Why does this matter, Zo? Because first, people on planet Earth, whether anybody else wants to accept this or not, you can say all of this land mass was one called Pangea, and you can say the whole land mass was called Turtle Island. Pangea, Turtle Island. You could say the whole land mass was called Africa. This is where we get caught up in semantics. This is why I try to mitigate that by simply saying we're everywhereans. We're from everywhere. Every significant culture in the world was seeded by melanated people. We're everywhereans. But if you want to follow the out of Africa theory, we come out of Africa over 150,000 years ago when there's a bottleneck. What do you mean a bottleneck? Well, Toba. Toba is an island, I think in the South Pacific. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. Maybe it's in the Atlantic, but I think it's South Pacific. Toba explodes in a catastrophic volcanic eruption. Okay? It explodes. And when it explodes, it's one of those earth enders. And basically, when they said it was a bottleneck, that meant so many plant life, so many animals, so many people died off. This is what they say killed off a lot of hominids that existed before Homo erectus, or Homo sapien. The ones that existed before Homo sapiens sapien is Homo erectus. Homo means man, erectus means upright, a man who has a modern knee. That's really what makes them able to stand upright. This is why primates generally can't stand upright, because they have a prehistoric knee. A modern knee was found on the 2 million-year-old bones down in Ethiopia, Kenya area, on what is now known as Australopithecus. Austra is the same root as Australia, which means South Pithecus, southern ape. Australopithecus, southern ape. That's what that means. But they later named it Lucy. Lucy was 2 million some odd years old, or 1.3 million years old, something like that. But at the end of the day, what distinguished Lucy from anybody else, Lucy had a modern knee, the same kneecap we have today. That's why when you see a chimp, they have a primitive prehistoric knee. That's why they, walk on all fours. That's why their knees are bow leg and bent. That's, all the major large primates, whether it's an orangutan or a gorilla or a chimpanzee, have this prehistoric knee. And again, when you do the out of Africa concept, what you find is there was a migration south, right? Southeast. That's how you get the Aboriginals into the New Zealands and the Australias. That's how you get your Pacific Islanders. That's how you get them folks. There was southwest, southeast, northeast, northwest. That's how you get the black man in Europe. That's how you get the black man, in England. There's a book out there, I forgot what it's called. We talked about it many, many years ago, that broke down the Pictish history. David McRitchie is the author of the book. The book is authored by David McRitchie. I promise to God, I ain't talked about this in so long. My memory is just touch and go on it. I do know Ancient and Modern Britons. That's the name of the book, right? Ancient and Modern Britons by David McRitchie. So when you look at that movie, Braveheart, Braveheart that was played by Mel Gibson, he's representing this white cultural appropriation. Again, white people claiming to be the Pictish. These are the indigenous folk of Ireland. These are the indigenous folk of England that got pushed out by the Anglo-Saxon invasion. You got to remember, the Romans, when Rome fell, went west, right? And started going into the Englands and, the Irelands of the world. The Aboriginal people that were there, David McRitchie, Ancient and Modern Britons, get the book. The reason why I'm saying this is important is because you don't know your story. So people tell you how to act, and people define how you should show up, right? And you get pimped, you get manipulated, you get lied to because you don't have a real version of who and what you are. Remember, who was our dear brother? What was that book? Like I said, I be forgetting. Who was our dear brother who wrote that book? It'll come to me. It'll come to me. But the point that I'm trying to make is I'm never letting the white man take such a powerful word from us. Nigga, nagas, negus. I had one brother try to argue me down and say, the word nigga comes from Spanish, negro. I said, well, where does Spanish come from? Because he tried to stop at Spanish. I said, no, sir. All of the European Latin languages are connected. If you know anything about language, Latin, Portuguese, Spanish, Greek, all of the English languages are connected through those ancient roots. And English as a language is a hodgepodge of many languages. Many languages. Gaelic, Old High German, Latin, Many languages. So you want to stop the word nigga at Spanish from negro. Well, let's go back to Latin, necro, where we get our word necromancy, right? Negro is black. Necro is death. Necromancy, right, is like a type of studying the death of something. Necromancy. Or when you use our other terms like mortgage, mortgage, like Mordor, like Voldemort, right? Mortgage. A mortgage is a death sentence. Oh, we didn't know that. Okay. Are y'all listening? You don't know how you've been programmed. And you get mad at me because I come on here and try to walk you through the process. Oh, Zoe talking down to folks. Zoe's condescending. Zoe, I don't like the way Zoe talked to me. First off, because everything ain't for play. You wake up every day, mortuary, right? You wake up every day and you see your people suffering and struggling, looking for a savior, but refuse to look inside and uncover the savior within. Nobody talks down on our people more than we do. Am I lying? Tell me I'm lying. Who clowns our people more than we do? Who berates our people more than we do? You could say there was a time when other races berated us more, right? But who berates us on a daily basis more than we do to each other? I'm just asking. You don't have to agree. You could point out a fact that could say, nah, Zoe, that ain't true. Here's how. Ba. You could say, nah, Zoe, the media just focuses on this angle and not the other angle where we're bigging each other up. You ain't got to agree with me. But I'm pointing out something that I know I see every day. I know I see it every day. Every day. Black people in competition with each other. Black people in comparison to each other. Comparing clothes, comparing cars, comparing gigs, comparing lifestyles, comparing where they live. We see it every day. And I'm saying, if you're a person with no knowledge of self, you've been gaslit about your history, you don't know who you are, how are you to judge or critically see anything this society presents to you as truth? How do you do it? How do you see anything with a clear mind if you can't get over what you forgot about yourself? What? If you can't get over what you've forgotten about yourself. Don't think just because the memory was erased that the stain of the memory doesn't remain. A lot of us recognize that we are more than what we've been told we are. A lot of us recognize on a spiritual, internal kind of vibrational frequency that I'm more than this. Something is missing. There's a piece of the puzzle that hasn't been clarified, that isn't made clear. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this. Y'all hear me mention this guy all the time. Krishnamurti. It is no measure of health to be fully integrated into a sick society. That's his famous quote. It is no measure of health to be fully integrated into a sick society. That's his health. Having the same mind as your educational captor, as your philosophical captor, as your psychological captor, right? As your linguistic captor, right? Having the same mind as your captor, right? Makes you believe you are something that you are not. Makes you believe that you are entitled to an understanding that is too small for your spirit. It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. This society is creating sickness in the individual. The individual comes out of the home. The home is sick. The home is a part of the neighborhood. The neighborhood is sick. The neighborhood is a part of the county. The county is sick. The county is a part of a city. The city is sick. The city is a part of a state. The state is sick. The state is a part of a nation. The nation is sick. The sickness is pervasive. What sickness am I talking about, Zo? Good brother, dear brother, Nick Cannon, posted on his Instagram, and we'll be talking about this in depth tonight on KBLA Talk 1580. Our topic tonight on KBLA is crazy. When I tell you, you do not want to miss tonight's topic. When I tell you tonight's topic is out of this world, I'm trying to pull it up for you. When I tell you tonight's topic is absolutely bonkers. Tonight's topic is called Incurable. Narcissism, the herpes of the mind, behavior, and soul. Why it never truly goes away. Our special guest is Dr. Pacoya McCall Robertson, PsyD from Insight Me Services. And when I tell you, it's going to be crazy. Incurable, narcissism, the herpes of the mind, behavior, and soul. Why it never truly goes away. And I have to commend dear brother Nick for even, oh my goodness. Vernetta, you can't come, Mike, Vernetta is at the front door. Can you let her in? She come, you see what I'm saying? She come during the show and talking through the chat. That's Vernetta. That's not how it worked, Vernetta. Lord have mercy. Anyway, tonight it's going to be crazy. Like I said, it's going to be an amazing topic. We're going to act a complete fool tonight in terms of breaking the whole thing down, because there's a difference between having narcissistic tendencies and being full-blown diagnosed as someone with narcissistic personality disorder. This is not a lightweight diagnosis. This is, I mean, it's a rare diagnosis. This is not just something, you can stumble into. So, yeah. Yeah, it just, and I feel for the brother, and I have love for the brother, and, I truly hope that what they say isn't true about narcissistic personality disorder. But this society, in my opinion, will create a narcissist. I believe the toxicity in our religious organizations, where there's spiritual abuse and psychological abuse, can create a narcissist. I don't think the home environment is the only environment that can create a narcissist. But typically, a narcissist is created in a disruptive home environment where it could be violent. You want to turn your video down? My God, Vanetta just in here turned up. She got her phone on. The video is popping. I could hear myself. Turn it down and come on in here and sit down. This child. So, like I said, I guess you really got to commend the brother for coming out and saying he needs help. That's one of the key characteristics of narcissism is that they're self-unaware. That whole self-aware piece that I was talking about. So when they're self-unaware, you don't know that you are doing what you're doing. For him to go get a battery of tests, because believe me, there are some very specific criteria that you have to meet in order to be considered someone with narcissistic personality disorder. Okay? So, being a black man in Hollywood, that could be tough for Nick, because anybody will tell you in Hollywood, they looking for ways to not allow you to get to a certain economic bracket. Right? They're looking for ways. Mal be crazy. No. Not that I know of. No. But thank you for your contribution. Everybody, please hit the super chat button. The super chat button is the $ located at the bottom of the chat. I need you guys to support in the best way you know how. We do this once a week, Mondays, to bring you guys an alternative perspective. Vanetta finna pop in the pic with Zoe. I'm kidding. I don't know what that. Okay. Yeah, but we need you guys to support the channel. Please support the channel the best way you know how. We've given you multiple ways of doing it. I'm asking people to go purchase He Is Risen. Go to my website, MrZoWhat.com. You can go to my Cash App, $ZoWhatNetter. Please support directly. Or you can go to my website, MrZoWhat.com. Not only can you purchase He Is Risen, but you can also get a copy of my latest book, The Shrouded Lighthouse. It's 400-something people in here. If everybody dropped $5 on the Cash App or the Super Chat, that would be amazing. Please support this content. Now, back to Nick. Like I said, in Hollywood, I had this one PR lady tell me about a story about Laz Lonzo. A lot of women, somebody said, volume sound low, Zoe. Does it? Does it? Truemonger, turn your phone up. Is anybody else having that problem? Anybody else struggling with the volume? Testing 1 2 1 2. Test 1 2 1 2. Can you hear? Can you hear? Can you hear? Where they at? Can y'all hear? It's good. Anyway, the PR lady, somebody said sounds low as fuck. Then other people say crystal clear. Zoe 99 is you. It's ringing too. Fine. Sounds fine. You have moved from the mic. Well, damn, can I move from the mic for a second? Damn. Don't move. Don't move. Don't move again. Anyway. Laz Lonzo, I guess he was up for some television show on ABC. And the lady said she overheard these executives talking about Laz Lonzo. He had interviewed, he had auditioned. Everybody loved him except for one powerful executive who wasn't black, who basically said, I don't like that guy and I don't want to change his tax bracket. That literally came out of his mouth. I don't want to change his life. If I gave him this job, it would change his life. It would change his tax bracket. It's ABC. And you know, back in the day, TV money crazy. TV money, even for somebody black, I mean, you got to think Steve Harvey was getting 250, something crazy, an episode for the Harvey show. But the guy said, I don't want to change his tax bracket. And you say, what does that have to do with Nick Cannon? Well, Nick is a hustler in this game. And when let me just say, they really want to label you as difficult. Like they were trying to label Laz as, you know, he thinks he's better. He thinks he's all of this. He thinks he's above. And it's like, they don't like it when you think good of yourself. Now, I'm not saying that's the same as being narcissistic. Now, narcissistic is something totally different that requires lifelong therapy. But if you literally come out and say, you know what I'm saying? You come out and say, I have narcissistic personality disorder. That's almost like giving them a free check to write to say, Nick was difficult, right? Or Nick is being difficult, right? So, yeah, this is not an easy disorder to deal with. And like I said, I commend the brother for coming out and saying what he needs to say. I have a lot more to say about this. I'm not going to get too much deeper into it, but you got to tune in tonight. Download the KBLA Talk 1580 app or go to Apple Podcasts, Apple Play. Is it Apple Podcasts? Apple Podcasts. I'm telling you, The Voice of Reason is on fire on Spotify, on Google Play, Apple Podcasts. It's on fire on all of those platforms. Today will be episode number 500 of The Voice of Reason on Tavis Smiley's KBLA. So let me move on to our next topic. Don't miss tonight, though. That's all I can tell you. Don't miss tonight. So speaking of narcissism, we want to go back to Drake and his UMG lawsuit, which backfires, right? It actually pushed Kendrick Lamar's May 2024 release of Not Like Us. It bumped it 440%. It saw a huge sales surge and a 20% stream increase. Listen, in hip hop, let's just keep it a buck. Battle is part of it. And what you're seeing with not Kendrick, but what you're seeing with Drake is what is known as a narcissistic collapse. When you attack a narcissist and you pull out their mask and you reveal to the world who they are and what they are, they can endure something that is known as a narcissistic injury. Instead of just letting it go, I lost. He clowned me. I got smoked. Think of what Jay-Z did to Nas, man. Jay-Z had a narcissistic injury. He had a narcissistic collapse. You know who did you know what with you know who. Let's just keep that between me and you. You come out in a rap diss and you talk about having sex with another rapper's baby mama and that you bust on his child's car seat. Nas didn't come back and be like, man, that's some bitch shit. I'm going to sue you. You defamed my baby girl's car seat. Nas didn't do that. Because after Ether hit, it pulled all of the wind out of Jay-Z's sails. All of that moxie, and Jay-Z and Drake are a lot alike. What you'll find is in many of these battles, there's a superstar versus this real ass MC. And not all the time, but most of the time, the superstar be wrong. The superstar be out of pocket. LL was out of pocket with Mo D. Right? Well, that's not fair. Mo D was out of pocket with LL first. Mo D just missed an opportunity to mentor LL. And what that did was that LL feeling the rejection of that and being a part of hip hop became what a young, unhealed, developing Capricorn would become. And that's very egocentric, very ego driven. You know, I'm only 18, making more than your pops. Mo's response to that is real simple. Say, man, hip hop is new. We just came out of the Frank Lucas and Nicky Barnes era. You know, a lot of people are struggling, black unemployment. You should not be talking about making more money than a hardworking, you know, pops who's trying to take care of his kid. That's kind of disrespectful. That's what Mo was saying at 22, 23 to a 16, 17-year-old LL. Like, you should have more responsibility in your rhyme. LL was a superstar at that time, blew up to dizzying heights, but that ego was always driving. You can even see a vestige of it happening now when he's talking about, as history goes back, I'll be considered the most influential MC of all time. And just like narcissism, L, this is a time for humility. The fact that you were able to come back after 40 years and drop an album that was semi-relevant. Brother, humility, not grandiosity. You should not be talking about that. Hip hop, like narcissism, is on a spectrum, bro. And if it wasn't for Run DMC, because Run DMC was the superstar before you, and Curtis Blow was the superstar before them, and they standing on the shoulders of giants, man. Melly Mel, Mo D, the Treacherous Three, everybody's standing on the shoulders of giants. You should, and then your justification for being the most influential is the lowest level, the lowest vibrational level you could talk about. You talking about the first one, the pop bottles and ice and the jewelry. That's nothing to be proud about, L. I'm more proud of your new album, L, because in 89, you wasn't rapping the 5% doctrine. You are on this album 40 years later. No one has ever heard you drop Supreme Mathematics or the Supreme Alphabet. Nobody's ever heard LL talk like this on this album. You showed us growth on this album. To come out and peacock on us and fluff your feathers, to me, again, are y'all listening to what I'm saying about a narcissistic culture? Krishnamurti said it. It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a sick society. L is one of my favorite MCs of all time. I was a fan. When I first met Kool Mo D in 97, I was 26 maybe. I did not fuck with Mo D. I was a LL fan. I understood Mo D was dope as hell. I understood he was dope. For his era, no question. But I was LL. So for him to come out now, I'm the most influential rapper. Nah, brother, you're not. No disrespect to you. And you're right. I've been saying this for years. Drake is an extension of LL Cool J. You don't get Drake without LL. I've been saying that for years. The love songs, talking to You understand? I've been saying it for years. Drake is an extension. But Drake is larger than LL by Mount Everest. At LL's biggest, he is Mount Everest behind Drake in terms of sold records. And we know the industry is different, streams. We know everything is different now. But Drake is a much larger artist than L has ever been. As legendary as LL is, he's never been as big as Drake is right now. And that's all relative, sure, to the changing of society. But L, you gotta get humble, bro. You gotta get humble. Your greatness is etched in the walls of hip hop. Wouldn't be no hip hop without you. Because you took the baton from Run DMC. Mo told me when you was a kid, you came up to him and said, I know I sound like Run, but I rhyme like you. I ain't heard you say that yet. I ain't heard you say that yet on any podcast, L. You got to say that. You got to give Mo his props because you still stand on the shoulders of giants, brother. And we love you. We respect you. We honor you. Man, like I said, you one of my favorite MCs of all time. But this whole, the most influential, nah. Some could argue that it's Melly Mel. Seeing that nobody is rapping different than Melly Mel. Melly Mel was the first one to rap the way we rap today. He was the first one to take the emphasis off the DJ, and then it became MC driven because of the message. Mel is the first one to rap in the way we rap today. So you could say he's the most influential. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you have an amazing body of work, brother, and nobody can diminish that. But don't say you're the greatest or the most influential, and then your example be on some old ice and chains and the shit that we kill each other for. Don't do that. Don't do that. You could say Chuck D is more influential than you. Do you know how many people got introduced to the Nation of Islam via Chuck D? By sampling the minister and putting them on record? Do you know how powerful? Many could argue that NWA is more influential than LL. When NWA's ascent came, that opened up the door to the Ghetto Boys, that opened up to the door to the Midwest, that opened up the doors to the South. So don't do that. Don't do that, man. Stay on high by letting the people put you where you are. Don't do the LeBron James shit. Don't do this. Don't do the crowning of yourself. Let us crown you because you've done enough incredible work, brother, that many of us will crown you without you campaigning to be crowned. You ain't got to do this, L. You're LL Cool J. Your legacy is locked in, brother. I'm just saying, it's a lot, man. Don't do that, L. Don't do that. I know competition is a part of you. You guys are missing the point, right? Is LeBron being competitive by allegedly trying to have his team rewrite some of Jordan's stats or playing for stats instead of championships just so he could be? And let me get, if I get all the records, they can't say I'm not the greatest.
All the records but championships.
Right, except for champions. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, the Capricorn, that ego shit, I'm saying we live in an ego-driven society. We love L. L, we love you, brother. Just fall back. Let us call you the great. You are one of the GOATs, hands down. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Every generation has a Mount Rushmore, and you're on a specific generation's Mount Rushmore. And ain't nothing but love for you, 100%. But, take that ego out your voice, especially at this point in the game, as successful as you are. Man, God has blessed you tremendously, man, and you don't need to toot your own horn. Let us do it, right? But I'm giving you these examples of how the superstar in many of these, Jay-Z was the superstar in his beef against the rapper, against the MC with Nas. Jay-Z was the superstar. Jay-Z felt like me being larger than you will win the battle, right? Just me being larger than you. I sell more records than you. This is why in his Takeover record, he decided to go at Nas's body of work. That's a one album every 10-year average, and that's so lame. Great record, Kanye produced track, fire beat. But in a battle, the best record doesn't always win the battle. You tried to go at a lyricist by trying to say he's less than you. Keep self-hate in mind. Yeah, you could say it's competition. You could say it's part of hip-hop. We battle each other. It's crumbing, it's bagging, it's jonesing, it's riffing. You could say all of that. You could say all of that, right? But it's still self-hate because it's still using the metrics of white success. I've sold more records, thus I'm better. No, that doesn't necessarily mean that. Especially in a battle. And you took on too many. You took on Mobb Deep, tried to throw shots at Jaz-O and Nas. Nah, you need all your attention for Nas. And then when Nas hit back, you didn't expect him to hit back, much like Drake didn't expect Kendrick. Remember, Drake was literally talking about this man's fiance. You remember, he's literally talking about this man's fiance. What did he say? He said, maybe one of their kids is Kendrick's manager, Dave Free. One of their kids might be his manager's kid. Kendrick went in the booth. He didn't go to the courthouse. You said that Kendrick, or he said allegedly on the record, that Kendrick beat on the girl. Kendrick said in previous records, don't take it personal. Did it anyway. Then you gonna come out and try to uncover payola. I've been in the game for a long time, and I'm gonna tell you right now, payola has always been around. DJs, listen, you undoing your shit. Because not all your records are great. Not all your records are unassailably good. No, you undoing your stuff. This is how they blew you up to gigantic proportions. And then the whole notion that somebody is trying to devalue you, right? Or your own label is trying to blow somebody else up to devalue you so they can rework a cheaper deal with you is stupid. You don't even own the publishing. You sold the publishing in the deal. That's the rumor. The rumor is you sold the real estate in the deal to get the big bag. The publishing is the real estate, Drake. This is why The conspiracy to get Michael's publishing makes sense. We got to kill him. He owns more music real estate than anybody in the history of the music industry. He's not in partnership with Sony America and Tommy Mottola. He's in partnership with Sony Japan. The people who own Sony America are the Japanese. Mike is their business partner. We got to get him. The guy, John Barranca, who's Mike's estate lawyer right now, allegedly, he was fired a few years before Mike died. The family is going to go get, the stuff. Let me go get the things. Mike is dead. Let's get his things. You mean to tell me John Barranca produces a will that's different from the will that mama got, that signs everything over to him as the chief executor and her as a secondary, ancillary executor? His mama, he gonna put you over? Okay. The closest human being to Michael Jackson on planet Earth was his mama. Okay? See, that's a conspiracy worth looking into. All right? We're going to get that goddamn publishing back. And Barranca, a few years after Mike's death, first off, when Mike was alive, the publishing was valued at $1 billion annually. And when the first negotiations came about, talking about Sony ATV Publishing, which is Michael Jackson's publishing, the evaluation estimation was at $40 billion. So you mean to tell me mystery will pops up that gets validated as the real will, are y'all listening? Sometimes it's just... All right. I'm making a point, Mimi. Is it difficult for you to follow along? The point that I'm making is I don't see the conspiracy in what Drake is saying when he's saying the label tried to devalue him by blowing up Kendrick so that they can rework a smaller deal for Drake. I'm saying Mike has a better argument for the conspiracy side, for the people in the back who pedal slow. Okay? John Barranca resells Michael's publishing back to the place he was trying to keep it away from, Sony Music, for $795 million, when it was estimated at being worth over $1 billion a year annually. The original estimation of that publishing catalog, which has well over 800,000 records, Beyonce, Eminem, whoever you can name, was originally estimated at $40 billion. Slow your ass down and pay attention when I'm talking. You're too busy chatting, you miss the information. So, again, for Drake to try to come out, right, and out the industry, to me, looks like narcissistic collapse. If I can't win the battle, I'm going to destroy the industry. When you said enough things that were disrespectful, you said enough things that Drake or Kendrick could have said, you know what? This hella disrespectful. I'm gonna go out on the law side as for defamation of character. He could have did that, but he didn't. Why would he do that? Because that's not hip hop, right? Hip hoppers battle. Right? Hip hoppers battle. That's what happens. We let Drake slide in hip hop by saying he won a beef with who is it? Meek Mill? Which record? Was it Meek Mill or was it Pusha T that Drake dropped back to back? Come to find out, somebody wrote that allegedly. So all of that is not like us. All of that is not hip hop. All of that. I'm just pointing out that we live in a narcissistic society, man. We really do. And you start to see it manifest in different ways. Pusha T bodied Drake. Yeah, everybody should lay off Mimi. Mimi know that, you know, I love her. She knows that sometimes she be out of pocket. Was it Meek Mill? It was Meek Mill. Somebody said Lil Wayne legitimized Drake, in his opinion. Pretty much. Maybe. I would say so. I mean, coming on to, what was it, Young Money? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I got something for you. I want you guys to see something. There's a video I have that talks about how America is narcissistic. I want you to take a look at this. Do we have this video on deck? Now, as he's getting that video ready, please, America as narcissistic? Is America? There you go. The Americanization of narcissism. Let's take a look at this.
So narcissism is an incredibly protean term. And throughout its history, its psychoanalytic history, from around 1910 to the present, attempts have been made to define it, to say what it is for once and all. And these attempts have all failed. In the 70s, narcissism kind of hits psychoanalysis, restructures psychoanalysis, and also hits popular consciousness at the same time. It made its public debut at the hands of Christopher Lasch and other critics. Christopher Lasch's 1978 wildly popular book, The Culture of Narcissism, and also in the popularity of the analysts who were redefining it. Heinz Kohut and Otto Kernberg. So Otto Kernberg writes about malignant narcissism, pathological narcissism. This is the narcissism that we hate. Kohut spoke for healthy narcissism. What fueled our creativity, our ambitions, it made life possible. The thing that Lasch does that has very significant effects for the next 3 decades for the way narcissism is conceived in the popular realm is that he ties it to a critique of consumption, so that narcissism became associated with gratification, with excess, with kind of greed and kind of consuming desire. So a few people, I would say Daniel Bell foremost, who is quite a brilliant critic in his Cultural Contradictions of Capitalism, which came out in 1976, he gets this. He's as angry as Lasch about modernity and what it's doing, but he understands the paradox that capitalism, its dynamic is destruction, and that capitalism depends on consumption. Capitalism can't survive without people consuming ever more goods. So it's fine to denounce the narcissist as consumer, But if you're doing that in the name of a backward look at a kind of purified capitalism, you're right in the middle of a paradox. So there's a huge argument over needs and wants going on at the time, and it gets quite confused where narcissism fits in this. The analysts writing in the 70s provided kind of resolutions to some of these tensions within psychoanalysis, but these were the same tensions in public cultural criticism. And I think it's that confluence of interest that accounts for how explosive the interest in narcissism was.
So what is LL responsible for being the most influential for again? Did you see her tie capitalism and consumerism into the narcissistic framework? I'm the most influential rapper ever because I brought in gold chains. That's like Frank Lucas saying, I'm the most influential entrepreneur ever because I brought in blue magic, heroin. Stop. That's what I'm saying. Like it could be twisted another way. Let's not, listen, we love LL for what LL is. You see yourself as being influential for bringing in a lifestyle. We see you as being influential because of your being, your influence, your energy. You have one of the greatest voices of all times. You're one of the greatest MCs of all time, but don't let the toxicity of this society make you think these grandiose thoughts about yourself, because if you keep it in context to what this lady just talked about, the Americanization of narcissism, can you see your narrative fitting into what she was talking about? I most certainly can. And at the end of the day, we don't want to see you like that. We don't want to see you in that light. We love you. Now, I will say this. The Drake thing is a little different because LL is from here. LL is us. LL is the culture. I just think it was corny to actually, get the law involved when they use the same machinery to blow you up. I just think that's goofy. I believe that's goofy. At the highest level, I believe that's goofy. But oh well, I think Drake will be okay. I think Drake should definitely take some time off. I think Drake should disappear for a little while. I think he should go in the lab. And I think he shouldn't focus on the beef or the battle. I've said this before. I think Drake should focus on writing amazing records. And one thing about music, when you create amazing songs, anything that happened before, we forget all about it. If you hit us upside the head with amazing records, with amazing songs, nothing else matters, bro. And I think that's what you should focus on. Instead of trying to reduplicate Michael's accomplishments, because a lot of people are saying, oh, I got as many number ones as Michael, or I finally passed Michael. But none of those records are weighted the same. And I know you got a different generation that rock with you, but none of those records are weighted the same. You don't have one Billie Jean. You don't have one Wanna Be Starting Something. You don't have one Lady in My Life. And listen, Michael's legacy affects the generation he came up in, the generation before him, and generations after him. So, bro, like, they're not weighted the same. So just having the stat is one thing, and this is the LeBron James argument. He got all the stats in the world, but they're not weighted the same. Easier league to score in. If Michael was in this league, he would be scoring 60, 70 points a game. Like, that's how easy it is to score in this league, right? So I just want you guys to take a step back and humble yourself a little bit. Please take a step back and humble yourself just a little, right? Hip hop is a contact sport. All right. I got one more story, don't I?
Yeah.
What's the other story?
Diddy.
Yeah. Before I get to Diddy, let's talk about another narcissistic thing, or potentially narcissistic. This is actually tied to that, so I'm going to go to this one first. President Joe Biden to pardon son Hunter Biden ahead of sentencing. Of course, he said he wouldn't pardon his son, but he did. All right, his son called him Pedo Joe.
Did you believe him?
Did I believe what?
When he said he wouldn't pardon his son.
Of course I didn't. He's a politician. Of course I didn't. Allegedly, his son called him Pedo Joe. This is a guy who's been on drugs. This is a guy that has tax evasion. This is a guy that has a lot of stuff. Go back to the Diddy post real quick. Sean Diddy Combs denied bail again after 2 months in jail. I'm not saying Diddy should get out. But what I'm saying is, if he's following due process and he is innocent until proven guilty according to the standard of the law, and he's giving preconditions and stipulations of what his house arrest would be, didn't they let Harvey Weinstein out when he filed for bail once? They did. But do you understand the hypocrisy? See, when it's a black man, we got to do this to the letter of the law. The letter of the law, right? When you're dealing with narcissists, you're dealing with hypocrisy. You're going to deal with the justification of behaviors that they deem wrong when they're coming from you to them, but that they justify when it's going from them to you. So Diddy said, hey, I'll give you $50 million for the bail. I'm not a flight risk. Can I go to my home in Florida? They said no. He said, can I go to my home in New York? They said no. Hunter Biden did a lot of dirt. And his dad was like, I'm the president. You could say it's nepotism. If I was the president and my son did some dirt, I would say, yeah, let me get my son off. But don't act like no one's above the law when in fact they are. Because you're not doing this for no black man in America. And Biden writes a whole letter. The letter's online. He writes a whole letter explaining himself. The reason why he explains himself is because he's had recent interviews where the interviewers are asking him, are you going to pardon your son? And he said, no. Have you revisited the idea about pardoning your son? He said, no. We've always known that if you can afford justice in America, you will have justice. If you can't afford justice, you won't have it. Well, some would come back and say, well, wait a minute. Can't Diddy, being a billionaire, afford justice? Diddy is a black man. Remember, when you're a black man, there is another old adage that could be applied to you. Your money is no good here. See, that's how they got with uppity niggas back in the day. Oh, you think because you got money? Oh, your money is no good here, sir. And I pull up the Diddy story not to justify Diddy, not to say that Diddy didn't do whatever. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know anything about it. Looks really bad. The video we saw looks really bad. But does the man deserve to be out on bail? Did he not make hundreds of millions of dollars to be able to afford a level of the legal system that most people don't have access to? Should he be able to pay the richest and the best lawyers, the best counsel, right? Should he? And be able to use that and be able to go home? Or are they doing a humiliation ritual? You wasn't supposed to rise that high anyway, black man. They said he's a danger. He's a threat to the public at large. He's a threat to women. One of the singers from, that show, I think her name is Aubrey O'Day, she celebrates Diddy being denied his bail. Aubrey O'Day seemingly celebrates Diddy's being denied bail again. After Sean Diddy Combs was denied bail, it seems like Aubrey O'Day celebrated the judge's decision. It was reported that federal judge Arun Subramanian denied Diddy's latest request for bail after citing clear and convincing evidence that he poses a danger to the community. The judge also used the evidence of Combs' history of violence, which includes the 2016 video of him publicly assaulting his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in a hotel lobby. I'm not saying he didn't do it. This is the fourth time that Diddy's bail was denied. His team has previously offered a $50 million bail package that included house arrest in a Manhattan apartment. The package also offered restrictions on visitors and communication. However, the court believed that this wouldn't prevent the media mogul from tampering with witnesses and other violations. Prosecutors have also argued that Diddy has been using other inmates' phones to avoid monitoring his communication while being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. Combs' willingness to skirt Bureau of Prisons rules underscores why the court cannot reasonably assure compliance with release conditions. That's what the judge said. Diddy is currently waiting for his trial to begin in May of 2025. So he has another 6 months in this place. But Hunter Biden is pardoned. Some would argue that Hunter Biden isn't as big a threat as Diddy is. What do you think? Do you think Hunter Biden's infractions are less? Can you make that bigger? Let's see that. The statement from President Joe Biden. Today, I signed a pardon for my son, Hunter. From the day I took office, I said I would not interfere with the Justice Department's decision making. And I kept my word even as I have watched my son being selectively and unfairly prosecuted. Could people argue that Diddy is being selectively and unfairly prosecuted? Could people argue that? I'm not saying that he is, but what I'm saying as a black man in America, is there a judicial bias? No, put it back up. I want to put it back up. Is there a judicial bias when dealing with any black man or when dealing with a wealthy black man? I'm just asking the question, right? Without aggravating, what is that? Without aggravating factors like use in a crime. Is that what it says? Make it bigger. I can't really see it. Can you make it just a little bit bigger?
Not immediately.
Okay. Without aggravating factors like use in a crime. Go back. Multiple. Okay, now you done made it so big that I don't even know where we at. There we go. Multiple purchases or buying a weapon as a straw purchaser. People are almost never brought to trial on felony charges solely for how they filled out a gun form. Those who were late paying their taxes because of serious addictions, but paid them back subsequently with interest and penalties are typically given non-criminal resolutions. It is clear that Hunter was treated differently. The charges in this case, or in his cases, came about only after several of my political opponents in Congress instigated them to attack me and oppose my election. Then a carefully negotiated plea deal agreed to by the Department of Justice unraveled in the courtroom, with a number of my political opponents in Congress taking credit for bringing political pressure on the process. Had the plea deal held, it would have been a fair, reasonable resolution of Hunter's cases. Not case, but cases. No reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's cases can reach any other conclusion that Hunter was singled out only because he is my son, and that is wrong. There has been an effort to break Hunter, who has been 5.5 years sober, even in the face of unrelenting attacks and selective prosecution. In trying to break Hunter, they've tried to break me. And there's no reason to believe it will stop here. Enough is enough. For my entire career, I have followed a simple principle. Just tell the American people the truth. They'll be fair-minded. Here's the truth. I believe in the justice system. But as I have wrestled with this, I also believe raw politics has infected this process and led to a miscarriage of justice. And once I made this decision this weekend, there was no sense in delaying it further. I hope Americans will understand why a father and a president would come to this decision. Bottom line is, you use your power that the office affords you to get your son off of a criminal case. And although it could be true that many people leveraged what your son has done because he wasn't acting very presidential, or he wasn't acting like a son who has a father that is the leader of the free nation, he was out here running it up, doing whatever he was doing. And although it's good that he's 5.5 years sober, you still used your power, right, of that office to get him off a case. And if you're supposed to pay your debt to society, you stepped in and prevented him from doing that. And it's not like he's a teenager, right? It's not like this is yet another teachable moment. You did what a father would do. And I'm not mad at you, because if it was my son, I probably would do the same thing. But if we are holding ourselves to a higher standard here, the standard of law, the rule of law, which is currently being applied to Diddy, right? Why can't it be applied to Hunter Biden? I'm just asking. I'm asking a question. I don't know. What are your thoughts? At the very least, should Diddy be allowed bail? I didn't say Diddy should get off, but let's just make the argument right here and now. Should Diddy be allowed bail? If Joe Biden can do this, should Diddy at the very least be allowed to go to his Manhattan apartment on house arrest with no outside visitors, no communication with the outside, no internet, no Wi-Fi? You just at the crib, boom.
Absolutely.
Should that happen? If you're going to flip around and do something, because nobody's going to say President Biden ain't a real man because he flip-flopped on what he said he stood on. Is he flip-flopping? Is he using his power to wipe away his son's sins? And if that's the case, can Diddy at least go home and sleep on his own bed before he go to jail? Because they gone. Please understand, they not going to let him off. He not getting off of this. And I'm not caping or trying to support Diddy because I don't know the depths of his depravity. I don't know how far the rabbit hole goes. But I do know you're using the American judicial system to free your son, to wipe away his sins. Y'all not going to do that for Diddy? To at least get bail? And the bail is money. $50 million. Is this a classic case of your money is no good here, nigga? Y'all hear me tell this story about Quincy Jones all the time when he talks about rappers. You know what he said? He said, y'all doing the right thing. Get money. He said, when you get your money, make sure you put your homeboys on. Because if you don't give your homeboys jobs, they're going to rob you. Because you're the only one balling. So make sure they get theirs. Give them jobs, put them on, take them with you on tour. Do whatever you got to do. Because your friends will rob you if you're the only one balling. That's what he said. Then he said, and then after you do that, you take care of your family, everybody's doing well, everybody's good. He said, you go out into the world and you see if your money has any power. Diddy got $1 billion, but his money has no power. He can't buy what white billionaires and white multimillionaires buy all the time. Bail. Nepotism, white privilege, right? Whatever you want to say. Listen, I appreciate everybody tapping in. Can everybody go to my super chat? Please support this channel the best way you know how. We're asking everybody to drop a 5 spot on the super chat. Can you do that? There's 450 people in here. I need everybody to hit the like button. It's a lot of people in here. We need a lot of support for this channel. All right. I want you guys to support. Like it up, like it up, like it. Hit it. Let me see. Please go to my Cash App. You guys can go to my Cash App if you want. Vanetta. Hey, Vanetta. Vanetta is in the house. Me and Vanetta, we had a great coaching session over the weekend. You want to say something? Yes, you can. Vanetta wants to come say hi. Vanetta wants to come say hi. You okay? You all right, Vanetta? Like this?
There you go. Now bend it there. That's it.
Here we go, Vanetta.
All right, and I'll take care of you.
Vanetta.
Hi, chat. Hi, chat room.
See, I'm a very nice guy if you show me the proper respect. Vanetta has always been very respectful. And she's, so I'm in town. She'll send me an email. I'm in town. Is it okay if I could come to the show? I say, yes, Vanetta, you can come to the show.
Why are you talking like that?
That's how she talks. Go ahead, talk, Vanetta.
So,
See?
I'm in town from Atlanta, almost 3,000 miles from home. Can I come to your show and say hello?
See? And then I'll be like, yes, you can. Come on through. She's even come to the cigar lounge.
Yeah. Quite a few times.
See?
Yes.
See? When Vanetta get on this side of town, she gonna holler at me and let me know she's here. And I said, come on through, Vanetta. We appreciate it. And like I said, man, just to me, Vanetta has always been 100% solid. You know, she gets, I guess, she gets something from the information. We
had a coach.
Oh, yeah.
You were about to tell them about.
The coaching session was different. I
It
wasn't going to tell him everything.
It was different.
I had to walk Vanetta back because Vanetta, she wasn't seeing something, and I had to get her to see it.
I was not.
But she saw it.
I saw it.
And the key is, she saw it. So I was at the cigar lounge, and I was talking to Vanetta for her coaching session. And I listened for about 35, 40 minutes. And then I had to walk her back on a few things. And she saw it. And that's what coaching is for. Like, sometimes, you know, you don't see how you're showing up. And then if somebody offers you a different perspective, right? Offers.
Because I had another.
Go ahead, speak in the mic.
I said I was, anxious? I said I was anxious.
Anxious, preoccupied?
Preoccupied. And after Zoe talked to me, he was like, I don't think so.
I said, go take the test.
Go take the test. I said, no, I know I'm anxious, preoccupied. Because I took the little written test, you know, and then he came back, he said, no, you're this. And when he finished talking to me, I was like, I am that. I am that.
Did you take the test?
The little written test.
And what did it say?
That little written test said I was anxious, preoccupied.
I want you to go take the test so you can see again.
That I'm what you said I am.
No, I don't. I think you're anxious, preoccupied.
I thought you said I was dependent.
Nope. That's codependent.
Yeah, codependent.
Yeah, that's anxious, preoccupied.
Oh, it is?
Absolutely.
That's the same thing?
Absolutely.
I didn't even know it was the same
Absolutely. They share.
Okay.
They overlap. There's overlap in codependency and anxious, preoccupied for sure. Chasing, all of that. Yeah.
It was very interesting though, because
we were talking about codependence and self-love deficit disorder. We were talking about that. And I also told you, don't take any of these titles to heart because that you can change them all.
True.
Yeah. Don't take any of these titles to heart. Not one.
I haven't spoke one into existence since the coaching. I'm not going to speak it. I'm just going to work on it.
And then we talked about, do you remember what I said? We talked how you should. The journal and how you should approach your sons. What is it based on?
I'm not just a mother, and I'm afraid to.
No.
Is that what you're
Offer
talking about?
An invite.
Oh yeah, offer an invite. Don't just.
You offer, and you wait to be invited. Right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's hard for you. Look at you. You still struggling with it.
Well, because I think something drastic. You know the drastic trauma that happened in my family.
Yes.
In 2023. I just had to just grab all of that. That was traumatic. I didn't have any boundaries.
Yeah.
I thought I was doing the right thing. Or maybe I moved.
There's no wrong thing. Just keep putting one foot forward. And even if it's in the wrong direction, eventually you'll figure out you're going in the wrong direction and you'll turn around.
Okay.
It's just about constantly working, continuously working to improve oneself, to better oneself. It's not about You know what I mean? It's not about being right. I think sometimes when we get it wrong, it hurts more because we wanted to get it right so bad. Right? So it hurts more when we get it wrong. At the end of the day, you just do the best you can do. And like I said, if you find out that you're doing it wrong, at least you know another way to do it wrong. So if you ever go that way again, you go, I've been here before. This ain't the right way. You go back. So I think all of that is good. And like I said, if you're serious and you continue to journal on offering support and waiting to be invited to give support, you know, that over mothering piece, you know, will settle down a little bit.
Because my son kept saying, Ma, you do know you can go home, right?
You do know you can go home.
No, I'm not going anywhere.
But do you see that?
I do.
You do know it's all right, Mama. You can go home.
Mm-hmm.
Go home, Mama.
It is, because like you said, what are you going to do if, what? It's support, though, but still. I think he maybe needed time to probably process that without me, you know, kind of. I can't be him, but he probably wanted time with his wife in that situation to process it without Mom.
But we remember what you said. Well, you remember what you said. You were trying to carry his burden for him.
Oh, I wanted to be his rock. I wanted to carry. Yeah.
And what did I say? You cannot carry someone else's cross.
Right.
Everybody has a cross to burden. And even our mothers can't carry our cross. And I said, you saw that. You saw Jesus' mother didn't carry his cross.
No. When you pointed it out to me, I was
not even right. Mary could come to Jesus and help him carry his cross. And I was just saying, you have to allow your son to go through his own process. And you were trying to mother your way into his process to make it easier for him. That's not how it works. Right. Sometimes you got to let them do it themselves.
Yeah, true. You know, I talked to Jay about that. He gave me some good advice, too.
Who's Jay?
Jay, well, he has a Muslim name, the Total Package Energy.
Oh, that's my brother.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a very wise brother.
He is, and he's a chemist, and he said he'd been through that because he used to work in that field.
Yeah.
So he used to kind of walk me through things every day. But he's different from you. He's not saying like those.
Jay is OG though. I love Jay.
Me too.
That's my brother.
So, yes. He's not trying to see where I should, what did you say? I should give my son space and not just move in on him, you know, like that. But Jay was trying to tell me about how he's a chemist and he's done that type of work before. So he was telling me about being in a coma and how long you can be in a coma and how to take it each day and how to live through it without, you know, it taking over your life. So his coaching was very good.
Yes. It's good.
Yeah.
Now, with all this coaching, we're going to see a change in Vanetta?
I've already started working on.
I'm good. I've already turned the corner.
That was kind of me yesterday.
She was like, that was 72 hours ago. I'm different today.
72 hours ago. Yeah, I do have to work on that with my kids, though, because when you brought that to my attention about you, but they're grown, and you can drop that title of being mom and their little boys. I thought about that. I'm like, why would I drop that? Why would...
You said they're going to always be my babies.
I did say that.
They're going to always be my baby. They're 36 and I don't know.
No, they're 35 and 33.
See? Come on now.
2 years apart, yeah. So
come on. Nobody needs a diaper change. Nobody.
No.
Nobody needs to hold your hand as they're walking across the
street. They
street.
don't even live with me. They're in their own house.
Right. They gone.
They gone. But
so allow that part to go.
Okay.
You still mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still, hey, I'm mom. You need some loving, you need a hug, you need whatever.
We have a great relationship.
You need conversation,
Yeah.
it's all
my
here.
boys are- yeah.
Right?
Right.
But in terms of trying to shoulder burdens that only they can carry, can't do it.
No.
That's why he said, Mom, you know you can go home. Go home, Mama.
But I
He's
looked
like-
at him
and
I was
what did
like,
you say?
No, I'm not. I'm going to stay here with him. I'm not.
And then a part of that is on them too. They got to understand, well, my mother's a certain kind of way. So
They know me.
she,
They know me.
if I tell her to go home, she's not going to go home.
Not in that type of situation.
No, ma'am. I love it, man. It's beautiful. All right, listen. I hope you guys enjoyed today's ZoWhat morning show. I encourage everybody to support this show the best way you know how. Again, He Is Risen is available. If you want me to ship them out tomorrow, I'm going to the post office tomorrow. If you want me to ship your order out tomorrow, go to my website, MrZoWhat.com. Again, this is better than the blue pill, blue chew, blue yellow pill, orange pill, red pill, whatever pill they got out there. This is 100% better. Created by, of course, RussellHerbals.com. Please go to RussellHerbals.com and get your detox. That's different than He Is Risen, the RZN pill. The RZN pill is a natural libido enhancement pill, exclusively available on or for the ZoWhat Morning Show. Go to my website, MrZoWhat.com. But if you want your detox solutions, go to RussellHerbals.com. And also, as we were just talking about earlier, our good brother Jay at TotalPackageEnergy.com. All of these businesses, let them know Zoe Williams sent you. Support. I'll see you guys tonight on KBLA.
Yes, all of those.
Yes, on KBLA Talk 1580. Listen, it's 361 people in here right now. You see that? The power in relationships. That's my episode on Montel Williams.
I saw it.
That's my
That's
episode with Montel Williams. If you guys want to see it, go to Free Thinking Montel, and my video should be the first video up there. Go to Free Thinking. Can you make that bigger so they can see the words? There we go. Go to Free Thinking. That's Montel's channel, his Montel's book club. The power in relationships. Man, he and I had an amazing talk. It was fantastic. Go there now, watch the episode, leave a positive comment. We appreciate everybody for tapping in. There's nothing but love emanating from over here. You guys know how I get down. What up, Hassan Kareem McCullough? That's my brother. Timmy Tight Top just showed up. Yes. Hustle Habit said, I just watched that episode. It was good. Timmy Tight Top in the chat. We appreciate it. Thank you guys for popping in. Tonight's topic is going to be absolutely crazy. I want you guys to support. Number love. I got to get out of here. I'll holler later. Deuces.